Another episode of No Nerd Left Behind. I'm E.
I'm Joe.
And we're going to talk about the trailers that dropped, I guess, for New York City Comic Con or New York City something. It was a convention that just happened.
Yeah, NYCC. So it would be New York City Comic, New York City Con, because maybe it's New York Comic Con. I don't know. It's an abbreviation. Does it really matter?
We should be there.
Yeah, that's it's on my to-do list of frivolously wasting money.
Yeah.
So, big thing. Venom just premiered last week, and neither one of us saw it.
No.
Not surprising on my end. You? Kind of surprising.
It is kind of surprising. I've been a little busy. I mean, of course, there was a big MMA fight this past weekend, and getting that together with a bunch of friends. And
Yeah, obviously, all our comic book nerd friends are huge into UFC, I'm sure.
They probably are. So
Actually, I do know that it's huge into that. Anywho, yeah, so neither one of us saw the movie. I was totally prepared to bullshit my way through it. I'm going to check that off the to-do list.
Definitely will catch that movie. We've heard mixed reviews. I'm not one to listen to critics. I go into a movie and just go to enjoy it. If I don't like it, it'd kind of be surprising because I'm a comic book fan, first of all, and I love seeing, my favorite comic book characters come to life in a way.
Yeah. Worst review I've heard so far, though, it was compared to the Fantastic Four from 2015, which that's a pretty mean thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't think it could possibly be that bad. So, I guess let's talk trailers then. The big one was the Aquaman trailer, which you just had me watch 7 minutes ago?
Definitely was an extended preview of the Aquaman movie.
It's 6 minutes long or so.
We're going to assume people watched it, but if not, a little bit of spoilers because
They're really spoilers. It's a trailer.
I mean, there is a big fight with Black Manta.
Yeah, who looks weird to me. I don't know. His head's too round. I expected it a bit more, a little flatter.
Okay.
Longed out. Yeah. Kind of like the animated stuff.
But it's not round like...
No, it's just rounder than you would expect.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not bad. It's just...
I like the smoke oozing out of his eyes. I like...
He definitely looked cool, and, I guess...
Underwater jetpack. Everybody needs an underwater jetpack.
You gotta have something that lights fires underwater. Otherwise, you might, die of cold.
Yeah.
How else are you gonna toast your marshmallows?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. I liked the scene where they're fighting Black Manta and they're running away from what looks like his fellow pirates. I want to call them.
Oh, the pirates? Does he have a weird name for his little manta friends? Mantites? Stingrays?
I don't know. How did you feel about the trailer overall?
It wasn't bad. There's a lot of water because Aquaman, obviously. And the chase scene you just mentioned, I noticed something. They're running around through, it looked like an ancient Greek kind of city. Yeah. So either they are really strong or construction codes back then were really bad because they're just breaking through walls with zero effort. The walls are just shattering.
We're talking about the pirates,
the pirates and the
Mantanites.
And the chick that broke through the roof with the red
Mira.
Yeah, with the red hair. Yeah, she just falls through the roof and it provides zero resistance. And she wasn't that fat.
I thought that scene was pretty cool.
It was definitely cool.
I really enjoyed Atlantis. I liked the animals and how they, just put everything together. John Woo, I think his name is the director. I know he directed...
Or was it Wan?
James Wan.
James Wan. I don't know.
Sorry.
We are so prepared for this.
James Wan. And James Wan is known for his horror movies. I think he did The Ring. I think he did Insidious. He's up there with horror, so I like that aspect.
Those seahorses did look quite terrifying. I've never seen a seahorse with teeth or with a mouth that could open because they kind of have a suction tube on the front of their head instead of a mouth.
I think it's a good idea that they're doing that. I like the fact that deep underwater sea creatures are terrifying.
That they are. I mean, I'm definitely interested in the movie. It's got to be better than what DC's put out so far.
Yeah, I like.
Set the bar low.
Overall, I loved the trailer. How did you feel about it? Did you like it?
I liked it. It's like any other trailer for me. Interesting, definitely. And I'm gonna go see the movie. Obviously, probably on the same time frame that I saw the Venom movie of late.
Yeah, I mean, with the Venom movie out, it was something. If I don't know.
We don't have good excuses. You always see the movies, and I'm on a 4-day weekend. I should have seen. I have so many chances to see the movie. I just didn't. But other things that happened within the past week, Ant-Man and Wasp, the DVD got released within the past week.
Was it digital download, or they actually have the actual
The
disc?
Blu-ray's out, so the whole thing's out there. And I just watched the movie this past week. I thought it was. You've seen it, right?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I like.
I think I've seen it twice.
You know in Deadpool 2, when he's talking in the beginning of the movie about how it's a family movie?
Yeah.
I think Ant-Man and Wasp was the family movie that Deadpool 2 was claiming to be. Because it was funny, I laughed, I thought it was very amusing.
They're very talented actors. I mean...
You couldn't figure out who the bad guy was in it, because nobody really was the villain. It was just kind of like, they
had purpose.
Yeah, everybody had purpose, and there was a lot of like that witty, like, are you kidding me kind of banter.
The one thing I didn't like about that movie, because there's a lot I loved about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was hilarious. I loved all the supporting characters.
Yeah, like, what's it? The guy who played Luis, is that Michael Pena, the Mexican dude?
So funny. So funny.
Is he Mexican?
I don't know.
I don't know. Latino in some way?
He's hilarious. I like the other supporting characters. There's one character in the movie. He was the crazy lunatic from The Dark Knight. The one that had Rachel Dawes' tag on his badge. He plays a really good actor. He was talking about the witch.
Oh yeah. He's like Russian or Polish or something, because the word he was using was a Polish word. I know the word, the Baba Yaga thing.
But that's a character in the Marvel comics.
Of course it is, because they just use all characters.
It was an Easter egg for a character.
That
in
I didn't know.
I love that part. I mean, the whole movie was good. The thing I was kind of like, okay, like. You had this character, Ghost,
Yeah.
She was obviously the villain in a way, and she was bad. And then at the end of the movie, all of a sudden, we want to help her. Yeah,
she wasn't. Nobody was really a good villain. It was a good movie. Like even the interrogation scene, like halfway through, where Paul Rudd's phone keeps going off and it's a duck quack. Like you couldn't take the movie seriously, but in a good way.
Yeah, I loved it.
I was a big fan of that. If you haven't seen it, and you're like me and you don't see movies until way, way late, worth checking that one out.
Good movie overall.
What other news happened?
Lobo.
Let's talk about Lobo. For people that watch Kypton or don't watch Kypton, which, whatever. Lobo is a fun character. Kypton, not a bad show. If you don't like Superman, it's still not a bad show, because they don't really do much Superman stuff. It's all like pre-Superman stuff.
Talk to us about it. The first season of Kypton, was it good?
It wasn't bad. Like the biggest complaint I heard about people that hadn't seen it and why they didn't want to see it was because they don't like Superman. I hate Superman. Stupid little Boy Scout. Overpowered Boy Scout. He's terrible. But man, I'm just not making any friends at DC, am I?
No.
Not at all.
I love the character Superman. I love, obviously, the dynamic of Batman Superman in the comic books, in the animated series. I thought it was pretty cool. I think they could do Superman justice. The Christopher Reeve movies are classic. It's something I grew up with, so I'm not going to say what's better, but one of the better interpretations of Superman was on the Supergirl show. I thought that character did a great job.
He was in 2 episodes. It's kind of hard to mess it up that quickly.
Yeah, but when he fought Supergirl, it was pretty cool when he was visiting her as General Zod, and then just his appearance. And he'll be in the crossover event.
Yeah, he will. That's going to be huge, and that's something we can get into later, because that's going to be massive.
Well, let's
crossover, and let's stick to the Krypton thing for a moment.
Lobo, yeah.
Yeah, Krypton. Basically, the plot of the show is first season takes place on Krypton. This guy takes a Zeta beam to Krypton, travels in time and space, and is telling Superman's grandfather,
okay,
I believe, or great grandfather even. No, grandfather. Telling Superman's grandfather that a big evil's come into the thing. And spoiler alert, I don't care. It ends up being Brainiac. Brainiac's coming to destroy Krypton, and he has to let it happen, because if Krypton doesn't get destroyed, Superman doesn't get sent on a rocket to the Earth, and then there's no Superman. Zod ends up traveling back in time as well, trying to prevent the whole thing from happening, because then Superman doesn't exist and Zod's in charge. So you got Brainiac, you got Zod.
So Zod time travels?
Somehow, yeah. They don't really quite explain how that happens. He's just there all of a sudden. Yeah, okay. Figure that one out. And then, so you got Zod, You got Brainiac, and Doomsday is introduced, and they say Doomsday was created, at least in this iteration of him. Doomsday is a product of, from what I remember understanding, the House of Zod and the House of El, so Superman's family and Zod's family, created the guy. And it takes a mixture of their blood to unlock the chamber he's in. And at the end of the season, it gets unlocked.
That's interesting. So is Doomsday a character in season 2?
I guess he's going to be.
Lobo versus Doomsday would be sick.
It would be if I liked the guy playing Lobo.
Oh, okay.
Which I saw the art of that, and me personally, I'm a big fan of Lobo, but like I told you earlier, I think that a good Lobo frame would be like Brock Lesnar's frame, except, with acting ability, because Brock Lesnar does not have that, despite being a fake wrestler for so long. The Lobo they got going right now, he looks like Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper had a child.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like the look of Lobo. I mean, maybe it's because it's our first time seeing it. I like the makeup. I like the skulls that are around him. I like the chain hanging down from his arm. I think he's a little muscular. I didn't think that actor was when I saw pictures of him online, but in the whole...
He looks like he's beefed up a bit, but...
I like it. I hope... I mean, they could have went worse.
Yeah,
they could have been bad.
DC has made a lot of bad choices.
The shows are pretty good.
Yeah, the shows are good. I'm hoping that this guy does Lobo justice. I'm not sure, I don't know. I don't have, in my head what this guy's voice sounds like.
That's also a big thing.
Because Lobo's got a very...
punk rock voice.
He's an idiot biker. He's great at tactics for fighting, but he's an idiot biker.
That's funny.
So
we'll see how that plays out. I mean, the show, from what I heard I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but from what people say about it, they say it's amazing. It's actually one of the better Superman shows out there without Superman in it.
I think that's why.
Yeah,
people are liking it. I don't know when season 2 starts. Do you? I don't remember.
I mean, in a way, they probably could. No, I don't know. But in a way, they probably could bring a Superman if they do some time traveling.
Yeah, I don't think they need him though.
Or a flash forward. No,
because you already got. I have no idea how Superman's grandfather, who has no superpowers, is going to fight Brainiac or Doomsday or Lobo, who have all the superpowers right there.
Yeah, Superman.
These are 3 of the strongest DC characters as far as damage done.
That's funny. Superman would have been, for me, a good addition because I always like to see him. I mean, he is one of my, I shouldn't say he's not in my top 5 favorite characters, but he's up there, top 10. It's
odd how Superman fills people with a big sense of pride, almost American pride, despite the fact that he's an illegal immigrant.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is fucked up.
Gotta build a dome, keep out all the Kryptonians.
The Lobo look overall for me was good. For you, I'm assuming it's not.
I don't trust the actor's ability, but then again, I don't know much about him, and I'm just kind of critical of anything DC does at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if they can do the bike justice, they can give him his weapons, they can make him look pretty cool, and I don't know how they're going to approach this. If he's the villain,
he needs to be at least mildly menacing, but he's a bounty hunter, really, and he can't. He doesn't seem like one of those characters you can keep on screen for a long time with dialogue.
Now, if I understand, going back to Doomsday, how they created Doomsday in the comic books, it was from the DNA of, a scientist on Krypton used the DNA from all the animals on Krypton to make his own.
I think that's one of the versions.
Mutated...
Yeah, I think that's...
Creature?
That sounds right. That sounds like one of the versions. In the show... It sounds like he's a science project of the Zod family and the El family, for those that aren't paying attention.
That's creepy.
The El family is Superman's family, and the Zods are, General Zod's family, obviously. I like how I talk down to the audience. It's fun. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. I guess...
Moving on.
What do you want to do? You want to do... Let's do the really quick blurb. Mark Ruffalo was on Jimmy Fallon, or whatever the hell it was. That's not good. I thought your PC was plugged in. Jimmy Fallon, and he allegedly accidentally said the title to the next Avengers movie, but they bleeped it out and put a black bar over his mouth. But some people with science-y computer tech stuff unbleeped him and figured out that he said the next Avengers movie is called The Last Avenger. Whether that's true or not, don't know. It could still be all skit. It could be fake, because the Russo brothers fake fired Ruffalo on Twitter over that. So I don't know whether it's true, but what do you think? If it is The Last Avenger, do you think that means one person at the end of the movie fighting, or like are they killing people off?
I would have preferred Avengers Endgame.
Annihilation was an option as well.
Avengers Endgame would have been good. The Last Avenger, it just, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we just got literally, I shouldn't say literally, but in a sense, our hearts ripped out at the end of Avengers Infinity War. And then we're going to come in waiting and anticipate for a movie called The Last Avenger. It's like, really? Kick us while we're down, you know?
If the title is The Last Avenger, it makes you think that there's only one person surviving at the end, which Chris Evans put out a tweet that made it sound like he was done doing movies with them, which, who knows? Like, it might just been him being grateful for being in the movies, not actually saying, I'm done with the movies. But, I don't know, Last Avenger it doesn't seem like a title they would give you. Like, unless they're going full circle with Captain America, the First Avenger, right? And then Avengers, the Last Avenger. But, again, it's hard to think that at the end of that movie there'll be one survivor.
Yeah.
It might be, maybe 3 of the 4 Avengers. There's 4 of them, right? The original team is 4 or 5.
Thor,
Hulk, Black Widow, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America. 5. Hawkeye. That's 6. So maybe one of those 6 is that left standing. It's time to dig in and see whose contracts are up.
Maybe Stark ends the Avengers and just says to one person, like, you gotta hold the mantle. I don't know.
This is just too much to dig into.
Avengers. Complicated. Yep. That's what they should have called it.
Avengers 4. I'm too old for this shit.
Let's move past that. So the Flash season's coming out.
Yeah, Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, and we're gonna go explore Nora, his daughter.
Yep, and
time traveling again.
Yep, and do you think that maybe they will shift gears slightly, and this season the main villain will be a speedster?
No, the main villain is his name's gonna slip me, but it'll come to me later. Is basically someone who hates metahumans and wants to take their powers from them and hurt them.
Like William Stryker in X-Men 2.
Yeah, and he's somebody like a villain of the week type of villain, but because Nora comes back in time, she messes things up and makes him way more powerful than he should be.
Okay, you know, it's interesting. The Flash villains, like, they never intrigue me. Like, I'm never like, oh, this villain's gonna be awesome. But for some reason, I keep watching the show, and I think it's the interaction of all the characters. And the guy that plays Harrison Wells, he's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
Such an ass to everybody.
They're doing Sherlock Holmes this season. That's what I heard. It's like a...
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be smart, but probably still an ass to everybody.
Yeah.
He does that role very well.
He's good. He directs a few episodes too. He's pretty talented. Pretty talented actor.
I'm glad they kept him
Kavanaugh?
on. Yeah, Kavanaugh. Yeah, I'm glad they kept him on over the multiple seasons. Like
going further, they are doing a 100th episode, which they're gonna probably pay homage to all the characters and bring back some characters.
Yeah, probably John Wesley Shipp will probably be back doing his.
I hope so.
Yeah, because he's the original Flash.
But the next episode after that will be the crossover.
That quick, huh?
They actually announced the villain. I don't know if it's going to be the villain, because I don't know if this character was technically a villain.
Because the crossover, they're doing Arrow, Flash, Supergirl. They're not doing Legends of Tomorrow in the crossover this time.
Really?
Yeah, I guess from what I heard, I think it's just too complicated with the shooting schedule. And did I miss one? Arrow, Flash, Supergirl.
No.
And they're introducing Batwoman.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Gotham City. The plot reads that they have to go to Gotham City, and I guess that's where they're going to meet her. That's cool.
Openly gay superhero.
The cast read that they are casting the Monitor, but not the Anti-Monitor. So I'm kind of a little confused about that.
Me too, because I've never heard of either of those.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Crisis on Infinite Earths?
I've watched the cartoon.
You never read the comic book Darkseid versus Anti-Monitor?
I did not, no. Like I said, I'm so terribly unprepared for these things.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
We've got to look into that and get back to you.
Yeah. Oh, you want to do Daredevil Season 3 trailer.
Daredevil Season 2.
Season 3 trailer. That's October 19th that debuts.
Few trailers dropped. So we had one with Matt Murdock / Daredevil, kind of giving up the mantle as Matt Murdock and going and diving deeper into his Daredevil persona. We had another trailer of Wilson Fisk getting out of jail and his rise to
full
power.
kingpinning, and then the exciting one is the Bullseye trailer. Bullseye, classic Daredevil villain with a very ambiguous backstory, just like the Joker, except he doesn't really laugh that much at all. He has no sense of humor. He really just Bullseye's powers. Is he even like a metahuman at all? No, he's not.
So.
He Bullseye.
Brilliant.
He's evil Hawkeye, is what he is. He's evil Hawkeye. He can
brilliant marksmanship.
Yeah, he can throw a spoon at a bird and decapitate it or something.
It looks like they're giving him that ability in this show. He was throwing he was just shooting people straight in the head, like.
Yep, and he had the target thing on his hat, like a little bit of a logo going. So
yeah, so that might
that'll probably be like last episode. He'll get that.
And I hope they don't just give him a hat with the logo. I hope that's like a flashback, like they gave him the hat because he's so good.
I can't picture him in the full bodysuit though. I don't know. It might be a bit much.
He has the red suit. He played so what's going on, and I guess it's not spoilers because
it looks like Kingpin hires him to make Daredevil look bad.
Yeah, and because of like how good he is and things like that, and maybe in some way he alters the suit because he has a mask on. I mean, might as well just
put
maybe draw the bullseye on it. And
well, we can say for certain he will be better than Colin Farrell.
I agree.
No arguments there.
I like it. I like that they're doing Bullseye. I mean, it's bittersweet because you're getting a grounded Earth Bullseye. Like
they're giving him a name and a backstory. It sounds like
Earth, I should
FBI background, like he used to.
Yeah, and the
which
Karen Page.
That's one of the biographies he gave himself in one of the comics. Was that he, they're using. If I remember right, they gave him the name. It's like Buster Poindexter or something like that.
Really?
It's something like that. I can't remember 100%, but that's the name he used in, I believe, the Ultimate Marvel comics. So, but he's used a lot of aliases in all the comics, so he's never actually had like an honest-to-goodness backstory. So they're giving him some type of backstory because the Netflix shows are grounded a bit more in reality.
Yeah, grounded. And I like that a little bit. It's bittersweet to me because it's comic books, so I like let them put on the whole outfit. Let them be like, you wear this, I'll wear this, and
they build it
go
pretty
at
well,
it.
though.
And I hope there's a scene where you see them both like go at it at like full potential, like Daredevil versus Bullseye. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I'm excited to see it. And Kingpin, the guy
that does it,
he's a great villain.
I love that character too.
He does the role so well that I hate him. That's how good he is at it.
I loved it. Season 1, he was amazing. Season 2 was pretty cool. He had his moments. If Defenders used him instead, it would have been probably one of the better Marvel shows.
Which they're apparently not doing season 2 for Defenders, which makes sense because you can't really do that team up thing like that very well.
I mean, they should. I don't like the Iron Fist character.
I know you don't. Yeah, but no, the guy that plays Wilson Fisk does a great job. I hate him as a character as much as I hated Walter White on Breaking Bad. I don't care what anybody on the internet says. I hated Walter White.
Yeah, Joe was the first one to explain to me. I know it's a little off topic, but that Walter White is the villain of the show. And when he said that to me, like I started seeing it.
He's a dickhead. He's a character you cannot possibly relate to in a positive way. Like usually the main character of a show, you're like, oh yeah, I get this guy's feelings. Walter White's a dickhead. I don't want to be a dickhead. I am a dickhead. I don't want to be that dickhead.
Yeah.
Can I say dickhead a few more times in this video?
Very greedy.
Yeah, he's just an absolute bastard to his family. He's a terrible human being. I hated him. Better Call Saul, that's a fun show for me because despite the fact that it doesn't have the depth that Breaking Bad did, I can at least relate to the character a bit more. If you find yourself relating to the main character and the main character is a total ass, it kind of makes you feel bad about yourself. So, speculation on Punisher Season 2?
Talking about Daredevil Season 2 got us thinking about Punisher, and the character is awesome. I love Season 1. Season 1 started off a little slow for me because it was just like you were getting so much, but then, this backstory with Micro, and then once it started ramping up, in the later end of the season, it was amazing.
Punisher's usually a slow starter because I've read most of his comics, and they do tend to start kind of slow, but then once you get in, it is pretty action-packed. And the guy who played Jigsaw's coming back, or he didn't play Jigsaw. He played the guy that becomes Jigsaw. I forget the character's name.
Yeah,
he's coming back.
Great actor. Great.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's awesome. Coming back to be Jigsaw in Season 2. That's confirmed, but You're thinking maybe they're going to do two villains of some sort.
Do you think they're gonna? I know his face got messed up and he was wearing bandages.
Yeah.
But do you think they're gonna show him with the face?
You know what? I think they are. I think they're going to show him all messed up and everything. And I'm thinking, do you think they're going to throw Kingpin into this? Because Kingpin is usually Punisher's main target that actually has like a name and a story. Because otherwise, it's usually like random mafia families.
I don't know if they're gonna weave
Or gang warfare, because the mafia thing's kind of played out now in the 2000s.
I don't know if they're gonna weave Wilson Fisk into the story, just because it seems like the Daredevil story arc is him going over the edge and finishing it, and like, you know,
Yeah.
if a villain, I mean, if you look at the trailer, and it's not a spoiler or anything, and it's just my assumption. When you look at the trailer, it seems like Kingpin figures out who Matt Murdock is. There is a scene where Matt Murdock's at the bar, and he's telling him how you're gonna, or he's like, you can't do what's necessary, and then Murdock's like, are you sure about that? And it seems, and he says, I think he blatantly says, like, I'm gonna expose who you are to everyone. So I think to finish that, you're gonna have to kill that character off, because how else are you gonna keep that secret? How else are you gonna keep that?
Yeah.
So I don't see him coming in, but for Punisher, I just want to see Punisher with the skull on his chest shooting people up. Like, let's do it. Give us more of that.
What, like 60 years of comics or something? That's really all Punisher is a guy with a gun shooting people, and it's about as American as you can get.
Let's make some more tattoos of the skull. Let's just, you know what I mean? Like, let's get people ramped up about it. Joe's fixing his microphone.
Well, you're kicking the wire.
I'm stretching.
But yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, you know, in some of the later Punisher comics, he actually goes after other like supervillains. Like, he's taking down supervillains. So maybe eventually they do something like that. But I don't know. Jigsaw will be a good enough villain, I'm sure.
I'm super tired. That Conor McGregor fight was something else. Can't get into that because, you know, different podcast for a different day. But
and I would contribute less to that.
Yeah.
But
it would be cool to see Conor McGregor as Iron Fist. Just kidding. So what else are we talking about here?
Well, last week you gave me a homework assignment to watch Young Justice.
Yes.
And I watched all 2 seasons of it.
Yes.
Which, I gotta say, that was a very good show. It's like an animated soap opera, damn near.
Whoa.
Well, because they're very dramatic, very intense storyline, very well told storyline. And despite the fact that I didn't know all the characters like going into it, like, I've never heard of Aqualad. Sounds like a stupid name, but all the characters were really well done, and I got into it. And then season 1 and 2, there's a 5-year difference between them. Like, they fast forward 5 years, and I'm watching episode 1 of season 2. I'm like, what's going on? They don't tell you until like 2-3 episodes later. I'm like, oh, okay. But I thought the plot was really well done. I like the first season a little bit better because they did a lot more of the bureaucracy with the Justice League and the Young Justice team. And so you got to see how the Justice League really operates, like as an organization, which was cool. Comparatively, I would say that show was what X-Men Evolution could have been had it gotten, going properly. Yeah, X-Men Evolution was really well done, but it got cut off really too early.
So I'll ask you some questions about Young Justice since you got into it. What, if you can recall, was your favorite episode of season 1?
Ooh.
What locked you down?
It had to be once they started throwing in all the apocalypse tech when they got the sphere. That was interesting. And honestly, it's hard to name just one episode that got me into it because the storytelling in there is really well done. It really is. And then, once you eventually get like the overarching plot going, like it's a very well told story. I'm assuming anybody that's seen it has seen it by now, so I can.
We're gonna get into spoilers, of course.
Oh, why not?
How did you feel about the Superboy character?
I like him way more than I like Superman because he actually has anger issues. He's kind of human, which being half human, you would expect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Superboy was not a bad character at all. Like, well thought out storyline. Cheesy storyline, clone, right? It's a cheesy storyline, but I think the character's good. I like watching them throw random magic stuff in there too. With like season 2, they introduced Zatanna, but even in the first season, they had magic users going on with what's that little kid with the cat?
You know, Etrigan's nephew, but not in the sense he calls Etrigan his uncle. It's
Yeah,
funny.
I can't remember what the hell the kid's name is.
I
Someone
don't
to
know, he
see.
was awesome though.
He was, and that's one thing I'm hoping to see maybe is Etrigan in the show because he's a good character. I like him. Crazy rhyming demon.
Season 1, great. That character was awesome. Going into season 2, how did you feel about the Lobo episode?
Wasn't bad. He did.
Were you shocked to see him?
I was surprised to see Lobo in there because the character didn't make any sense to throw in there, but it was a good way to introduce the cosmic element of everything. You know, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to go forward. Because if he wasn't there hunting aliens or whatever, you wouldn't have gotten the rest of the plot.
Do you think they did Lobo better than the Superman animated series? Given that they only had a little bit of...
Yeah, they only had like 3 minutes of Lobo in that versus the animated series. He was in full-on episodes. Like
2 of them. 3, maybe 3.
Yeah, and he was
Two-parter
there
and-
for the whole thing. So I think for the short amount of time he was on there, they did a good job. And that's the thing, going back to the Krypton thing. Lobo's great in really short bursts like that, but he's not a dialogue-driven character. You can't have Lobo sitting there discoursing with another character about the merits of bounty hunting. He's just going to smoke a cigar, drink a beer, and then go hit somebody over the head.
Season 1 was awesome, but season 2 I have so much on my mind about season 2 because I think I like them both maybe equally, but season 2 was just such a game changer. It was just like, whoa, this is crazy. They introduced Impulse. Is it Impulse?
Yep, Impulse.
How did you feel about Impulse?
Never heard of him before, but then again, there's so many flashes that I can't keep up. They're too quick for me.
I thought the introduction of him was hilarious.
Yeah, no, he's a funny character for sure.
Of course, I have to ask you, Deathstroke episodes.
It's Deathstroke. I like him because they played him true to his character of just being a mercenary that is there for the money and he's not too attached to anything. He's a professional. The part that threw me off was his ponytail.
Yeah, they kind of made him...
They made him the old man that Deathstroke was in some of the original comics. But if you're a professional mercenary who wears a mask, why have a ponytail that goes a foot back on your outfit that everyone can see and pull on if they get close enough to you?
Yeah, it was more for
Cut your damn hair, you
for the
hippie.
the ninja imagery, because some ninjas wear those bands that go long.
Yeah, which that doesn't make sense either. That's just something for somebody to grab onto.
I liked him though. I liked how he beat the shit out of the characters. He was so
he was
OP'd.
very good at what he did. They did and in animation you have a lot more leeway to the damage people can do to anything. So I think they did him well, and I once I understood what the hell was going on with Aqualad, again, never heard of him before, and all that, and the overarching everybody's betraying everybody 3 times over plotline. It was a really good, almost mystery type feel to it. It was well written. I gotta say, I don't know what the hell they're doing for season 3. I've read nothing about it.
Were you expecting that going into?
I was expecting a couple betrayals maybe, but there was so much back dealing in that season. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then most of the Justice League is not even involved in it because half of them are on trial on planet whatever.
How'd you feel about that?
I swear I've seen that in a different movie before.
It was actually the Unlimited Justice League Unlimited show.
Okay, yeah. So I
Something
knew I'd seen that before, and it played out exactly how I expected it to play out. So I like the way they convinced the jury to let them go. Of no, totally show people that you do fair trials, so that more people can come in here and bribe you for fair trials.
Speaking on more characters, let's go back to season 1 because this slipped my mind. But how did you feel about the Joker episode?
Disappointed. The Injustice League, as they call themselves, is an interesting collection of characters, and they did the Joker's mentality on paper. His mentality, they did it really well. Oh yeah, I lost, but I'm still gonna blow everything up, right? But the way they drew him, he looked like a Beatle, like Ringo and Lennon and all that. He had the sideburns that clearly say British to you, and even the voice acting seemed a little British. And I'm if you want to sound crazy, you don't go British. That's what you do if you want to sound contained and like normal and like professional. That's why all aliens speak British.
Personally, with the Joker episode, when I first got a glimpse of him and they were introducing the character, I was like, well, what the hell is going on? It's like they messed up. Maybe the Heath Ledger influence at the time, because Heath Ledger's movie came out, influenced them to go in that route. But once I was in the episode and seeing how he dealt with the characters and his maniac mentality, I loved it. I thought it was well
It's
done.
weird to see a character as like prolific as the Joker in a one-shot episode.
Very emo-ish.
Which,
Then-
for a guy who wears white clown makeup, saying he's emo is a hell of a thing. Like he like I said, he seemed British to me. It was weird. I don't know.
There's more about the second season. How did you feel about the ending?
Oh, I saw that coming a mile away.
Really?
Yeah, I knew, like, the moment season 1 started, I knew that they were building to eventually having Darkseid as the main bad guy. I find it weird to see Vandal Savage and Darkseid working together in any capacity,
Right.
because they're both, I mean, that was the main problem with the concept of the Legion of Doom, is supervillains are not known for their working together skills. They're not people.
Well, like you said, it's just business. So.
Yeah, which,
How did you feel about Wally?
Wally West, not a bad character, honestly, in that show. Not at all. Like, the retiring, that was bad. The fact that he ends up dying, that was a bummer. But
Do you think he died, or do you think he just got lost in the Speed Force?
that's interesting. You know, I think he died because they did so many fake deaths and stuff already. I don't think they're going to pull that card out again.
Really?
I think he's actually dead.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
I personally think he's in the Speed Force. I feel like
I think
they're
that's a good
doing
way to bring him back.
they're kind of doing the comic book switch and giving him the Barry Allen arc, where Barry Allen like gets lost in the Speed Force, but then has glimpses of him coming back, but as a ghost.
They could do that, yeah, but I think he's dead. Personally, who knows? Season 3 comes out in
You
like.
just want him to be dead. God damn it, you morbid son of a bitch. No, I'm joking.
If I wanted people to be dead, I'd want Barry Allen to be dead because that kills almost all the Flashes.
Yeah, you know.
Right. So let's see. That's a lot of stuff. You know, I got a random conspiracy theory I want to throw out there right now, completely unrelated to comics. All right. So I was reading about this, and this is really off the wall. I don't know. Did you know there's a type of tick called a Lone Star tick that if it bites you, it can make you allergic to red meat for like 3 years?
Whoa.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe Fox News will pick this up because I think this is a conspiracy started by people in India who are sending these ticks over to America to derail the beef industry here because they think cows are sacred. Maybe vegans are involved. I think there's a big conspiracy thing here. I think whoever the
podcast took
yeah,
a
I know.
turn.
Whoever the current nutcase on Fox News is, because it's not Bill O'Reilly, he got fired, but whoever the current nutcase is should pick this up and get us some views and some hashtaggery going on here. I don't know.
This is some Eddie Bravo type level shit. Going back to comic books, wouldn't it be cool if those ticks gave people superpowers? No.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of superpower is not eating meat?
How did you feel about the Tick show on Amazon? Speaking of, did you watch any of those episodes? It was good.
The only tick I've seen like a couple episodes of the live action one, and then I saw all of the cartoon one. I didn't catch the one on Amazon.
It was fucking awesome.
Was it?
The first season was fucking awesome. There is a second season, but
And who thought that what I just said couldn't lead into something?
there you go.
It's a perfect segue.
We will.
I think we
And
covered.
here,
Yeah,
and-
that's the whole checklist. We're going to do a special podcast later on this week where we have random comic book characters fighting random comic book characters. So keep an eye out on that.
Either later on this week or within
We'll
the
post
hour.
it. Yeah, we'll post it at some point. You know, if you're subscribing, you'll know because notifications. I don't know how YouTube works. I really don't. And at some point to look forward to later this month because it is October, I'm going to do I think, video thing of my Halloween costume being put together.
Oh, you're putting together a Halloween costume?
I always put together a Halloween costume. I
So
win the
last-
costume contest at work every year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did we dived deep and got Deathstroke costumes. I was Manu Bennett's Deathstroke. I got the
Yep, and-
headgear and thing, and you were.
I was also Manu Bennett's Deathstroke, but I was the one from when he was on the island in Arrow, and you were when he got back to Star City. What was it before it was Star City? Because didn't they change it from something to Star City?
No, wait. You're missing a word in between. I think.
Star. I don't remember. Because like after everything blew up and they needed to rebuild, they turned it into Star City.
Oh, who
I don't
cares?
know. Well, all the dead people in the fictional show are kind of sad, I'm sure.
Yeah, they always come back. It's weird.
They really do. It's
Well, we'll see you guys next time,
Yeah.
and we'll
Keep an
go
eye
off
out.
of a big debate on which comic book characters are the strongest and
Who can
which
kick
ones
whose
are
butt.
the bitches of bitches.
Yeah, like Bitch Man.
See you guys.
See ya.